Hi guys, and welcome to today's video where I'm going to go through the main modes of the Hohem ISteady Pro 4 gimbal. So with no further ado, let's roll the video. Alright, so the very first mode, and this is the mode which is the default when you switch on the gimbal, is the PF mode, and that stands for pan follow. But what exactly does that mean? Well, it means, as the name suggests, it will follow the motion as a panning action to the left or to the right. So let's give it a go. So we are currently in PF mode, and if I turn the camera to the left, you can see that it follows the action in that direction. If I then turn the camera to the right, you can see it also goes in that direction, so it's following a panning motion, and hence why it's called pan follow. But what about the other axes? Well, if we tilt the camera up, like so, or down, or try and tilt it down, notice that the camera doesn't follow that action at all. It still remains level, so the tilt axis is locked. And that is also true if I try and tilt the camera like so. If I use a gimbal and try and twist it in this direction, then it's also going to remain level and it's not going to follow that action. So the pan follow mode will just follow the action to the left or to the right. I'm going to do it a little bit closer so you can see, to the left or to the right. Okay, so that is the pan follow mode. So let's now move on to the next mode, which is the PTF mode, which is pan tilt and follow. So this mode is pretty much the same as the previous mode, the pan follow mode, except the tilt axis is also in action. So if I tilt the camera up, you can see that the camera tilts up as well, and if I tilt the camera down, if I tilt the gimbal down, then the camera will also follow the action down. So it is following the tilt axis up and down, and also the panning action. So if I turn left or turn right, you can see it's also panning. So the PF mode and the PTF modes are very similar, except for the one where the PF mode, only the pan axis is operational, and the PTF mode is where both the pan and the tilt modes are operational. Alright, so we can move on to the next mode. And the next mode is the L mode, which is the all lock mode. So as the name suggests, all three axes are locked, and the camera is going to remain steady and going to be continuing looking at whatever it was when you activated the mode. So if I try and tilt the camera up or tilt the camera down, so you can see that that camera is not following that action at all. And if I try and tilt the camera left or to the right, like so, you can see that also doesn't follow that action. And of course, if I try and tilt the camera like this, the camera is going to remain steady. So whatever I do, if I try and pan or I try and tilt, the camera is going to remain level, and that is why it's called the all locked mode. Alright, let's move on to the next main mode, which is now called the POV mode, or the point of view. And it will act, as the name suggests, it's going to literally follow all the actual motions I do. So it's the complete opposite of the lock mode, which locked all the axes. This actually unlocks all the axes, so it will follow all the actions. So if I turn left or I turn right, up or down, or I actually tilt the camera like so, it's going to follow all the actions I do. So this gives me the full motion available in the gimbal, and I can do pretty much what I want. So the POV mode is the mode you want if you want to run around and you want to literally follow all the action without any restrictions. So that is the four main modes available on the gimbal. Now there is one other special mode which is called, I think, the Inception mode or the Torch mode. It has various different names. And to activate this mode, we simply turn the gimbal so it's horizontal like that. So what this gimbal mode allows us to do is pretty much rotate the camera in a 360 degrees by using the joystick on the actual gimbal here. So if I actually rotate around like so and just keep the joystick held in, you can see that the camera is actually rotating completely around. So that is a special mode. And if you want to reset the gimbal back to its current position, just bring it back in a vertical position and double click the trigger button at the back, like so, and then that's going to reset it back into the normal POV mode. So that is the main modes on the Hohem ISteady Pro gimbal. Hope you found it useful, and if you do, please subscribe and like the video and do all that good stuff, because it helps my channel grow and I really appreciate it, guys. Take care and see you soon.